Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So today I'm going to be talking about the black and white mindset with dieting and how often the reaction to feeling like you've done something wrong with the diet can often be worse than the actual thing that you've done wrong. And before I get into the video, later on I'm going to be inviting you to join my free emotional eating Facebook group for women, where I have a free video series teaching you all about the mindset around dieting and how to get better results, how to get long-term results, how to get results that last. But for now, let's get into the video. So first of all, what is the black and white mindset? So it's very simple. It's basically the concept that I can only get results on my diet when I can be perfect. And when I can't be perfect, I don't try because there's no point. So it leads to you being on and off your diet, because when you can be perfect, you do it. When you think something isn't going correctly or you can't be perfect on that day, you don't do it. And there's no in between. So this is the black and white mindset. And like I said, it leads you to being on and off the diet and very inconsistent with your results because of this mindset around how you think dieting should be. And it's often linked to difficult things to follow, because quite a lot of diets require you to have a rigid plan, count calories, count points, count sins. And you feel that when you deviate by at least, or by the smallest amount, 1%, 2%, tiny amount, you feel you're not being perfect anymore. So you end up telling yourself, I can't be perfect today, so I won't do it, or I can't do it, so what's the point? And of course this isn't true, but it comes from the way that a lot of diets are set up. And in actual fact, it's better not to be perfect, because if you can do less and still get great results, then it's a lot easier to follow. And so diets like that would be a lot more sustainable. Sorry about the background noise, by the way. There's some drilling going on in my building. But let's say you are following a plan, following a diet, and you feel you're doing pretty well. It's going pretty good. A diet or a plan involves decisions every hour of every day. What to eat, when to eat, how to eat. And let's say then you make a decision that you thought wasn't quite right. Now, you feel bad because you were doing so well. And because you have this perfectionism mindset, this black and white mindset around your dieting, because you're now classing what you did as wrong, you kind of feel like you're off the diet. Or even, let's say, you're invited to a friend's house for a meal and you don't know how many calories in it, don't know how many points are in it. Or you give them some food and you eat it and you find out there's more calories than you thought there were beforehand. Or a situation where you just can't follow the plan that you were following. It comes back to this perfectionism mindset of now you feel you are off the diet, and then your brain starts to negotiate with you because you're off the diet then, and you start to have all these little thoughts in your brain of, ooh, let's make the most of it because we're going to be deprived again on Monday or tomorrow. So let's have a little bit more chocolate. And you have a little bit more and you think, oh, that was really good. Let's finish the packet. And your brain starts to trick you into having all these things, and you have no boundaries because you're off the diet today. You're starting again tomorrow, so it's fine. So it's almost as if you created a whole day where you can do what you want. And you end up eating a lot. And in actual fact, you eat so much that you've undone your results and hard work from the last couple of weeks. And you feel really bad about it. And we can use an analogy for this. So let's say you do make a bad decision around food. You eat something that maybe wasn't in your plan, or maybe you made a bad choice over food. It's a bit like driving along in your car and you get a flat tire. You get out of your car, you look at the flat tire. Instead of moving on or fixing it, you get a knife and you slash the other 3 tires. So now your problem is so much worse. But there is no reason to do that. But the feeling you got from going wrong, the feeling you got from the first problem made you change the way you acted, and it made you do something that didn't make sense. So you slashed the other 3 tyres, and the whole problem became so much bigger. And you now definitely can't go home, because in actual fact, you had a spare tyre you could have replaced that one with, but now you have 4 flat tyres and you can't replace those. So the situation is so much worse. And now, what do you do? The problem with most people is that their motivation comes from the fact that they don't like themselves, they don't like the way they are, they don't like the way they feel, they don't like the way they look. So their motivation is attached to their self-worth, and they need to be constantly getting results, constantly seeing the scale number go down to get that motivation. And when they don't see it change for the positive, then the motivation goes down as well. They're depriving themselves and also not seeing results. So think, what's the point? I may as well just eat again. But then a few days go past and you feel bad about yourself again. So you think, yeah, actually, I'll go back on the diet. I'll start doing a different diet. And so the cycle starts again. You start doing a different diet, restricting more, following it even more precisely. And this thing continues. So you have this wavering motivation of, which one do I hate the least today? Do I hate dieting the least? Or do I hate myself the least? And so some days you hate the way you are, so you go on the diet. Some days you hate the diet, so you eat more. And it's this constant wavering motivation, and you never get results. And so the motivation cannot be attached to constantly getting results, because weight loss is not linear. It doesn't always go down. And remember, weight loss is not the actual result, it's fat loss. And weight loss can be masked by things like water retention. So the scale can show a bigger number when actual fact you've lost weight, but you don't always see it. So you cannot attach motivation to seeing results, because like I said, that motivation will go up and down daily, and you don't want that. Your motivation needs to be attached to how you want to be, your end goal of how do you want your life to be? How do you want to feel? How do you want to look? How do you want to show up in life? What do you want to do that you can't do now? How do you want your relationship to be with your partner, with your friends, with your family? How do you want your career to be? What are you not doing because of how you feel about yourself? And what will you do? And what will it get you? And this creates this huge motivation that sticks even on those days that you feel, oh, I'm not getting results, but I'm doing it because of this reason and I believe in what I'm following. As a side note, you have to be following something sustainable. Diets that involve calorie counting and point counting and weighing are not sustainable because they're too difficult. Like I said before, in certain situations, you just cannot do it. So it creates this black and white mindset of, I can't do it today, so I won't. And you need to have this gray mindset, so somewhere in between. So I always do the best I can in the moment based on what's available, what I have. And doing something is better than nothing. Doing 80% year round is better than doing 100% for 2 weeks and then giving up. And then waiting a few weeks and doing 100% for 2 weeks and giving up. Because that just doesn't get results. It's on and off. And you put the weight back on. Being 80%, 70%, something grey forever gets you the results. And that's why it's so important to get away from this black and white mindset and have the grey mindset, not needing to be perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. Life throws obstacles at you. Life is never easy. So what happens when the kids are sick, or you run out of food, you don't have the right foods in the house, or the dog needs to go to the vet, or something happens that you didn't expect? You need to be able to deal with these situations. But most people, because they are dealing with the perfectionism mindset, and that diet can only go well, only go perfect when everything is in alignment, that just doesn't work. You need to be able to be resilient with life and deal with things as they come and work on this thing of grey mindset. Even if it's just 10%, I've had the worst day ever. I've done something. I haven't gone backwards. And this is what gets results. This is what takes you forward and stops you yo-yo dieting, stops you coming off the diet. So it's so, so important to think like this. So like I said at the beginning, it's usually the reaction to a bad decision that's the worst part, because just making one decision in your day that might not be the best for you is not going to be a problem. But it's the reaction to that of thinking, oh, I've done something wrong, so I may as well just have the day off the diet now and start again tomorrow. That's what causes the problem. Because, like I said with the car, one little thing can be easily rectified, whereas you consciously decide to make it worse. And that leads down the rabbit hole of the guilt and the more restriction and feeling worse and all those kind of things. So sorting out this black and white mindset and becoming more great is so, so, so important. And at the beginning of the video, I mentioned my free Facebook group for women, where I have a video series on things like this, topics like this, how to solve the black and white mindset. And if you would like to join that, I have put the link down there in the description and I'll accept you into the group. I also do a live video every Wednesday as well on topics, again, similar to this one. So feel free to join that. And if you have enjoyed this video, if you have found it helpful, feel free to comment down below, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already, and like as well, and I will see you in the next video.